and calls for the National Party to abandon its coalition promise to see it through its first leg of the legislative process have fallen flat. Luxon said that he still planned to honour National's agreement with ACT to allow it to go this far, but yes, reiterated again for those in the cheap seats, I will say this to you, that they will not support it beyond that and will be voting it down. Such contempt, I've said, for a parliamentary process, boldly showing that he is not interested in what could be tens of thousands of Kiwis who will present to Parliament's Select Committee on the bill. Nevertheless, it hasn't fazed the Teflon ACT leader David Seymour and the bill's proponent, of course. He said he believed those opposing the bill just need to read it. They say kill the bill, I say read the bill, because once you see it, ask yourself what's wrong with the government having the right to govern, the government having an obligation to uphold all people's rights, and all people's rights being equal before the law. I don't think the people who are protesting at the moment can explain it is what they're opposed to. And look, yesterday I touched on it. While it feels like a Māori versus Pākehā conversation, this is an issue for all New Zealanders and must be allowed to speak, correct? There are some participants in the Hīkoi that believe only their voice and action should be respected and want to shut down any debate. We know this. And as I said yesterday too, that protesters are more than happy to disrupt Kiwis going about their day, getting to work, getting to school, yet they won't meet with David Seymour to discuss the issue, the minister in charge of the bill saying he isn't qualified to speak about it. We should all welcome discussions by all and debate, as I said. What do those that are new to our country or second, third generation Kiwi from another country, what do they feel about what's going on? Because nobody seems to ask. Now, Ash Parmar is not a stranger to the show. He's a business owner. He's an entrepreneur. He's also part of the Dairy and Business Owners Group. He's a spokesperson. And he's joining us again. Hello, Ash.
Hi, Leah.
Ash, just before we start our convo, tell us where your background is, where you came from, and the like.
So I moved to New Zealand in 2001 with my parents, with my younger brother. So I was 17, moved to Hamilton from India.
India,
so yep. I'm a migrant, I guess you can say. But we'll probably later on in the conversation can go down the pathway of how everyone is a migrant or probably a descendant of a migrant anyway. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I migrated from New Delhi to Hamilton in 2001. And that's where I stayed put, got married. Now I have 2 children.
Yeah. And how do your children see themselves, Ash? They're Kiwis.
Sorry?
How do your children see themselves?
Oh, they see themselves as Kiwis. They every now and then like to remind me and my wife that we are Indians. In a funny way, which is okay. They allow their children, and they say they're Kiwis, and Mama and Dad are Indians, Indian Kiwis.
Right. Mama and Dad are different. Yep, that's cool.
I'll say that. I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, being an immigrant to New Zealand, but like you said, you set up businesses, you have employed communities, you've paid tax, you consider yourself a New Zealander. I mentioned it, kind of touched on it yesterday, but didn't really kind of get into it. How our people that have come to New Zealand from other countries, how they feel about, say, what is going on at the moment with the Treaty Principles Bill. When you first came to New Zealand, were you aware of the treaty?
No, not at all, actually. Yeah, I was only 17. I think the key thing for me when I moved here at 17 was that New Zealand has a cricket team. That was my entire focus. That my parents have chosen to migrate a cricketing nation, and and Black Caps had been semi-decent at beating India. So I was like, that's good. I have 2 teams I can support. But didn't really know much about any of the other stuff. And I guess as an adult, as a business owner, as a father, and I guess as a son to my parents, I'm learning a lot more about the space, and I guess seeking to learn more and actually give an opinion, because as a migrant, my opinion should be taken on board as well, I think.
Well, this is what, I believe in and what the conversation is about, Ash, because I said yesterday, it might feel it's kind of Māori Pākehā kind of the conversation, but we have such a big Indian population, Asian population, and more so, we've got more and more people from around the world that have come to New Zealand. And I wonder what their take is on all of this. Is it just kind of head down, keep working, not get involved, or do some of them go, I'm so anti this treaty principles bill, or some say, yeah, I don't kind of quite get what it is. I don't know. So it was good to talk to you, because you also have a story about what somebody posted on your page. But I just, before we get to that, when you started your businesses, did you deal with, you must have dealt with Māori customers and have Māori people, in your circle, did you?
Oh, yeah, lots of it. And some of my good friends are Māori, actually. I'm sure he wouldn't mind saying Phil Davis. He lives in Hamilton. One of my best friends. He's
not
part
Phil.
Māori. And,
No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
And most of our conversations that you end in how us Indians and the Māori are actually very alike. It's all around family. It's all about creating family gatherings, having an abundance of food on the table, making sure everyone's having a really good time. We come together immediately, both in happiness and sorrow. So, I mean, for me personally, and then I talk to Phil a lot about it, I think the Indians and the Māori in particular are very similar, and so are many other cultures probably, very similar to Māori culture, and it's just, I guess, differences on the sides, but otherwise the core value of family unit is pretty much the same.
Yeah. So, Ash, what happened? So you posted something, did you, on what? Where were you?
So I was actually flicking through Facebook and saw ACT Party talking about something in the space. And I actually shared a photo and some stats from a Curia poll that kind of showed how a lot of political parties have significant amount of people, as per this poll, who actually support this bill or are undecided, and then certain amount opposed. And there were significant numbers, especially from National Labour, and that's what I pointed out. There's a lot of people in the two major political parties that actually support this bill or probably further one conversation. And then I got a comment back, and I'll read it out to you. It's only a short comment.
Yep.
It said, "You're a migrant. The treaty, T3T, is none of your business. You have no say or place. Learn some respect or go home." And that hit me really hard. What did this person mean by go home? Because I actually can't go back to India. I'm on a Kiwi passport, and that would require a visa. I can't just turn up in India anymore.
Well, Ash, you
know
are
what I mean?
home.
I'm like,
And you're home.
yeah, I am home. So
This is
like,
your
what do
home.
I do? Do I leave?
You've built a home.
Yeah,
You've had
so-
children here.
Yeah. So what happened is I screenshot
what
that
happened?
comment.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it on my LinkedIn because I live my life like an open book. And it's had a huge amount of reaction to it on LinkedIn. It's over 67,000 views, hundreds of comments, and everyone's just disgusted, that there are people amongst us who think this way and think that migrants shouldn't have a say in it. And if you want to have a say in it, you should leave the country. Well, I, for one, refuse to leave the country because I literally can't. I'm on a New Zealand passport. I can't just go somewhere else, I have to stay here, and I have businesses and a wife and children. But I think that it just ties in with it's let's have a chat. That's why you have a parliament. And if you don't want to have the chat, maybe let someone else have that chat. I guess that's what it's all about. And I'm not here to talk about the actual bill. That's that party's job. It's David Seymour's job. But as a migrant, I want to have some of these conversations and be allowed to have these conversations without being threatened to be seen or to be kicked out of this country.